e avere il risultato che vogliamo contro il Como.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for the first real preview. Oh no, actually, it's the first. I didn't preview the preseason games, but it's the season kicked off. Not for us, but for the others. It will kick off for us tomorrow against Como.
Anche se domani giochiamo una
Sadly, it's on the Monday, kind of a crappy day to play, but the season is finally underway. You know, I'm excited. Not gonna lie, despite everything that we talked about, you know, the players that didn't arrive, the players that stayed, the players that are still at the club, so on, you know, we talked about it for weeks and weeks and a lot of hours, but right now it does matter, it really matters still, because we need to get players in, obviously, and Motta talked about that, and there are a lot of twists in the transfer window right now concerning or involving Atalanta, which we'll talk about in a sec. Which interview was playing? Oh, excuse me. My bad. Apologies. The interview is for later because I want to talk about that later. So my bad. Apologies. That's for later. Because I wanna let you hear a part of Motta's presser. So excuse me. I didn't know I was in the wrong scene. So I'll start over again. I was saying the season is kicking off. For us tomorrow, for Roma right now, for Milan, Inter, they all played, and it's good, man, because we talked about so many things, you know, the last couple of weeks. You know, the team is not ready, players staying, players leaving, you know, the entire Fiorentina, Atalanta, coal miners, so on, saga that we are going to discuss in a sec, because there's a new twist in that you know, what do you want to call it, transfer triangle at this moment in time. But in general, it's good to have the season back. You know, I'm looking forward to it, despite having half a squad, you know, on the back. Like, we don't have a complete squad at all, even though Motta talked about it in his presser, saying that, you know, there are a lot of players on the bench. Well, 2 of them are kids from the next gen who are not ready at all, and 2 of them are goalkeepers. So he has nothing on the bench tomorrow. That's just the reality of the matter, and that needs to be addressed, you know, and that's going to play a part in tomorrow's game, depending on how that first half will go, definitely. Also, if you look at, I don't know if anyone watched the Milan game, or the Inter game, or the Napoli game, you know, it's not easy, you know. I thought Inter was going to win quite easy. I don't think they played the best of games. I don't think Genoa played the best of games, but they end up dropping points on match day 1. Milan, you know, should have lost that game if not for Torino being just Torino, who they are, you know. Bottle jobs at the end of the day. They should have lost that game. They were poor, especially that first half. They were poor. Napoli, man, get absolutely smoked. Against Verona, you know, that was a very intense game, you know, that Napoli game. That was very intense in terms of Verona were on it, you know. So I'm expecting Como to be on it for a very simple reason. It's the first game of the season. A lot of these smaller clubs have nothing to lose, you know. They're not thinking about relegation whatsoever. They just are back in the Premier League, in Serie A. They're back in the league for, I don't know how long a time ago, and they have nothing to lose. They're going to come at us, and that's fine. You know, I expect that on match day 1 from every single team. I think that's why the games have been close as well. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Now, Motta did speak. I'm going to go over the predicted lineup as well. Not that it's that difficult to predict a lineup right now, but Motta did speak. He spoke at 1 o'clock when I was playing football myself, but I went back and rewatched it because I didn't want to miss the first one. First off, thanks Draguns to become a member. Again, if you want to join the members club, you can click the join button. And if you want to do the prediction league, which you have still a lot of time, even if the season already kicked off, you can still win it. That's in the Discord, private Discord chat and section of it. You can do the prediction. So if you reach out to me, I will add you, and you can put your Como prediction in, and well, win a jersey at the end of the season or a voucher, so on, so on. So definitely do that. But Thiago Motta did speak. He spoke on a lot of things. But the funny part was that what I always said, when it comes to the media, uh, especially last season, the pressers. If you listen to Allegri's presser, I'm not sure how many people do listen to pretty much pressers. It was never about football. It really was never about football. It was about everything but football, and it was so frustrating. It was like we were already playing poorly. We're not winning game, and nobody was questioning certain decisions. Nobody was questioning, hey, is it normal that you're just trying to hoof the ball up into the box and see whatever happens? That was never being asked. And funnily enough, it wasn't the case this today again. Nobody was asking him about, what do you think about Como? Well, how do you think Como are gonna play? Do you think they're gonna come at you? What do you expect from Como? Did you watch Como? There was nothing of that kind actually. So Thiago Motta like start talking about it itself, and that was the video. I messed up at the beginning of the video that I wanted to show you, so I'm gonna show you right now. You can listen to it. I know it's in Italian, but I'll kind of say what he had to say. Let me bring it up.
Concentrati a fare una grande partita contro il Como. Tutto il resto vedremo dopo. La cosa più importante, anche se a voi non vi piace troppo parlare della partita, anche se domani giochiamo una partita, noi siamo concentrati su questa partita qua, a giocare bene, a fare bene il nostro lavoro e avere il risultato che vogliamo contro il Como. Ci siamo concentrati.
This was actually like when I heard him talking about it, he was talking about Como, and then he was asked. Actually, the question was more transfer related. It was about the squad is not ready, so on, so on. But actually, it was too much already in advance. Like it wasn't about the game. It wasn't about the first season, or the first game under Thiago Motta, the first game of a new Juve, so on, so on. That was never being discussed. So he took it upon himself, saying that, guys, actually we play Como. I know you guys actually do not like to talk about the games, but I'm gonna talk about the game because we play Como tomorrow, and you guys are basically not asking me a single question on the game. It's good that he said that, because hopefully from now on we actually gets asked questions that concern the opponent. Verona next week, Roma the week after, because now you're listening to that presser up to this point, and I get the Mercato still going. I get it, I fully get it. But if you had a couple of questions, why keep asking? Why keep pushing on these questions? Just move on and ask him about Como, because they are newly promoted. Nobody really has a clue how they're gonna play, and you should be asked about it. And he didn't got asked about it, and for me that was typical. But it's good that he took it upon himself to actually talk about Como, and we will get that in a sec, because it is interesting how Como tried to play, and I think it should be playing into our hands. They should be playing into our hands, because that's a game you need to win. Especially, and again, it's still early, I get it, but we are not allowed to drop points. Right now, you might say the squad is not ready, it's still a mess, who's going to come in, who's going to say, so maybe you have an excuse to drop points. It's absolutely not right now, because right now, if you pick up the points somehow, I'm not saying we're playing prime Barcelona, but still there's so many question marks. I don't think the preparation has been what it should be, just purely because how the squad has been quote-unquote built or not built right now. However, still, if you pick up the points right now before the international break, the 9 out of 9, that's a fantastic start, considering we're still doing so much, and some of the players we're being linked with potentially will not even join us. That's a real possibility. But yeah, let's actually move on to what he had to say. He said, we can't wait tomorrow to get tomorrow's match, compete with our opponent and reach our goal. The aim is to deliver a great performance and achieve the result we want. In life, as in football, nothing is guaranteed. We have to earn it. We need to focus on ourselves and on tomorrow's match. Como has come up from Serie B, winning many games to get to this point, and they bring great enthusiasm with them. We must respect them, as we do all our opponents, and compete, to get the result we actually want. We need to give our best tomorrow, compete with Como. This is the first of many steps we'll have to take this season, one step at a time. Nobody really knows what to expect, from tomorrow. We've seen snippets in preseason. We know what Thiago Motta likes to do, what he doesn't like to do. Like, we know all those things, That's kind of well documented if you watch Bologna, if you watch preseason, even though preseason is not really, a measuring stick. If you just look at Milan yesterday, it's not really a measuring stick to say, okay, we beat Man City, Real Madrid, and whoever in preseason. That means we're going to steamroll Torino. Well, that was not the case. So you need to respect every single team. However, saying that, last season we played on par with teams like Como, whoever came up last season. Frozen, like, we played on par with those teams. That was the issue. That was the issue. We showed respect. Maybe we just showed being completely out of depth, inept to go out there and be on top of Frosinone from minute 1 to minute 90, That maybe was an issue more of a squad, coaching, whatever. But right now, if you play the first game against Como at home, and that's what he said, it's good to play at home first. The fans will be up for it. It's a new Juve. It's a new Juve, so everybody's kind of excited. It's a fresh slate, It's not another season of Allegri, and with that I mean, it's another season of what we saw the past 4 years. Like, we saw it, it's not good enough, nothing is going to change, like, we know it, so on. So that's not the case, and that's positive for me, and that's the positivity he was talking about. Like, you need to use the energy that will probably come from the fans, not players being booed in the next gen game, probably not that energy, but in general, I think everybody is excited for the start of the season. Let me know in the chat if you are, because I know I have a friend of mine who also supports Juve. He is absolutely not up for the season, and it's purely because we are linked with I don't know how many players, and we actually need to sign I don't know how many players. And I get that, but tomorrow, and I know tomorrow throughout the day, there will be all transfer news, so on, and there will be all cup miners not coming because Lookman wants to go to PSG. And Comiso wants to sell Gonzalez to Atalanta because Lookman is going to PSG. And Alfredo Pedula is saying Gasperini is losing his shit right now, and that means they're not going to sell coat miners. Like, those type of news will drop tomorrow. But that being said, that should not be the focus for tomorrow. That should be Giuntoli's focus tomorrow. Tomorrow's focus, even for me as a fan, should be about the game, because I'm actually looking forward to it. And I might be wrong and do my first match reaction, and it's been absolutely horrendous again, but still I'm looking forward to that game tomorrow. So hopefully the players as well, because I was watching Inter yesterday and Milan and Verona, and I was like, man, I wish we were playing right now and it wouldn't be on a Monday, but let's see how they will cope with that, because there will be a certain type of pressure tomorrow. Definitely, he went on saying, no difficulties, it's football, each of them know the role on the field. Even with the rotations, I don't see any challenges at the moment. We're feeling good, we've worked well, and we've prepared properly for the match. We will approach it as we always do, giving our all for the good of the team. There will be hiccups again tomorrow, because again, you have players that you think are not good enough to be in the starting 11, so on. But the way he plays football, I think there will be hiccups. There will be misunderstandings, because yes, you can do certain things in training, but if you train against the other half of your team kind of knows what's going to happen, so it's easier to stop. It's maybe easier to execute or less easy to execute. Now you play an opponent who haven't really watched what you've done in training, or in preseason, and they're gonna do their thing, and you are gonna do your own thing. And throughout the game, you will have moments of, okay, this is not working, we need to switch it up, or this is actually working, we can push on. So it is like how good you have prepared in preseason. Norbert saying none of the teams look good so far. I agree, because you can see it's a lot of kind of growing pains for many teams, even for a team like Inter, who are ready-made right now. Already, you can see, even if you watch that Inter game, it wasn't really that fluent. There were some pains. There were, again, some mistakes you expect them not to make, throughout the season, but they made mistakes, giving away a pen, kind of caught sleeping with that first goal, nobody really tracking or like pushing on, to clear the ball on potentially on a line, like so on, like real preseason type of football. So that's why I said it's going to be massive if we pick up 9 points out of 9. Because, yes, Verona played Napoli and they beat Napoli without any single issue, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think anyone was watching that game and was like, Napoli are going to 100% win it. And when they went 1-0 down, I was like, yeah, it's over. They're not coming back. So I get that. But still, the first 3 games, if you win them with what the situation we're in right now, that's massive. That's absolutely massive. And I hope they're feeling good. I hope they're in some sort of groove that they actually believe in what they have been doing in training ever since Motta came in, basically. And for some, that's been 2 weeks longer. And for some, that's just, a week and a half or so. So that's why I said they're going to be growing pains. They're going to be mistakes that, look kind of silly. But you need to take that. You need to take that tomorrow. Unless you're going to make absolutely horrendous errors, then, yeah, that has nothing to do with, it's Motta's first season. It's just you guys have kind of messed. Oh, my God. How did Cali? Oh, my God. That was close to 1-0 for Roma and 1-0 for Cagliari. But, yeah, let's move on. I'm going to read out the comments in a sec, people. He was asked about his playing style, finally, after he kind of talked about or told the journalist, guys, we have a game on tomorrow. Are you not really going to ask me anything about that game? But he spoke about it. He spoke about his playing style, and he kept it simple. He said, no, this is about Como's playing style. His playing style will come. That's why I said, after that video, we actually talked about the game. If you watch Como, and I'm not going to sit here to say I've watched Como every single week last season. I've watched him towards the end of the season a couple of times. Not even full 90 minutes as well, because Serie B football is not fun. It's actually... And Dybala scores. No, it's not Dybala, but Roma are winning. Oh, offside. I've watched Como play last season a couple of times, and they play, again, it's not full 90 minutes, it's not tactical this, tactical that, just purely on the eye test. And what I can remember of these games, they play a lot of they put a lot of energy into games. They like to play man-to-man, they like to play you all over the pitch. And that's why I said that can play to our advantage, because if they want to play man-to-man, Bremer, Gatti, or Danilo, whoever is playing, should be having a field day, because that's what they're good at. If they don't need to cover a lot of space, if they don't get pulled away from each other, they are good, and they can deal with any situation. If a team wants to play man-to-man, cool. So that is going to play in our hands. Now, the trick is to win that ball back completely and find the space in midfield, especially the guys playing between the lines. If you... With our build-up, against Atletico, it was Thuram a couple of times, to actually be completely open and set up, the first 23 meters that we, cover with one pass rather than actually driving the ball, Again, that was last season. They signed Belotti, Ferran is injured. Like, they made a couple of signings, so maybe they changed the way they play, but I doubt it, because that was successful for them last season. That made them finish second, and got promoted. So I don't think they're going to do anything else. And on top of that, like I said earlier on, first game, enthusiasm, absolutely nothing to lose at the stadium. Everybody wants to show off. have that upset on that first day. Like Genoa tried to do that, Torino tried to do that. So they will come at us, and I think that will play in our advantage. That's just my opinion. But yeah, that's Motta. He said playing openly. They've always played that way, regardless of their individual histories. Everyone has their own path. Tomorrow we'll face a strong team with experienced player like Moreno and Belotti. We'll approach the game with respect and give our best to bring the result in our favor. That's what I said. Yeah, they got Belotti, but I'm being completely honest. We shouldn't be fearing Belotti, Moreno, or Varane. That's just me personally. But they will come for us, and that's good. I think that's good. I think that should play in our hands. That should definitely play in our hands. But yeah, let's move on. Now let's talk about the state of the squad, because I saw quotes before when I finished football, and I was like, I need to listen to it myself, because that probably got worded completely wrong, and it got worded completely wrong, because I saw quotes saying that I only can have 5 players on the bench. That was a mistake as well. He said I can make 5 subs. He said everybody in the bench is ready, and I was like, fine, but Savona, Rui are not ready, and you have Perin and Pinsoglio on the bench as well. The only players you have on your bench are Fagioli or Gatti or Cabal or Bangula and McKennie, who just came back. You probably never talked to the dude as well. So you don't have a bench for tomorrow. That's why Giuntoli is out there trying to sign a Kalulu, Coal Miners, Gonzalez, Conceição, and we need, like, Giuntoli cannot end up this summer with signing only Kalulu and 1 winger, because we are effed. We are absolutely effed if we bring in a defender and 1 winger. We need 2 wingers, we need a defender, and we need Coal Miners, because you tried to sign him all summer and you promised him to Motta, and that was the only player you kind of had cash laying around. And if you fail to use that cash, then everybody's going to look. If we fail to sign Coal Miners purely because Atalanta do not want to let him go, then it's a massive flop, because you could have used that money and signed Calafiori then and figure it out in midfield with what you have. So Giuntoli can absolutely miss on this situation. But yeah, he talked about the squad and so on. He said merit, whoever is there tomorrow deserves to be with the team to take part, whether starting the game or coming on later to help the team. That was me personally. That was one of the issues I had with Allegri last season. One of the biggest issue I had last season, when he played players not based on merit, but purely because the past, or that's my guy. Kostic was absolutely rubbish for all season, and when Junior came in, he showed more, but he didn't play him only towards the end when he was so desperate, and he was like, yeah, F this, I need to play Junior. But up to that point, he kept playing Kostic, not based on what he was showing, because what he was showing was shocking. And at times it was embarrassing, That I do like. That's what I said, I think, last week. I said he will play the players who show up in training, not the players who showed up in a game 10 weeks ago and then did nothing else since then. So I like that. Even with Yildiz last season, remember when Chiesa was injured and Yildiz came in, and I did a live, and people were like, nah, you cannot do that. And I said, I'm sorry, Chiesa, but Yildiz is playing, and he's playing well, so Yildiz stays in that team. It is what it is. Nobody in this squad has a status where it's like, you're undroppable. Nobody earned that status. The only guy who's undroppable right now is Di Gregorio, because he's your number 1, and Bremer, because he's your main guy. Other than that, there's no player who has that status where it's like, you cannot be dropped. Not even if there's no backup. So that's what I do like about him, and I hope he sticks with that. That's my hope. He said we're working at our best to build a competitive team, and today we're focused on having a great match against Como. Everything else will come after. You might not like talking too much about the game, but tomorrow we play Como. And then he said Giuntoli, he said he's doing his own thing, and I'm calm. I think we will build our squad that is going to be competitive and good enough, so on, and that we get the guys we need. And like, he's obviously not going to say, man, it's the 18th of August and I have nobody in the squad. He's thinking that. 100% he's thinking that, but he's not coming out saying that Giuntoli is doing a crap job right now because I still don't have my players. He's not going to say that, but obviously we know like the squad is not ready. It's not even close to being ready. But yeah, the players. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna read out the chats as well because I didn't read out the chat. But let me read out a couple of chats because this comment will from this Motta comment I will go to the starting 11, so it kind of fits in. So let me see a few comments. Apart from Cuomo, I think what is happening with Gonzalez or Kobe should make Juve review the relationship with club like Atalanta or Fiorentina. Any club in Italy itself. I've said it, I don't know, 100 times already on this channel. Buy outside of Italy. It's stop funding the Italian teams. And somebody in the chat came on and was debating me saying, oh no, man, we need to make the league competitive. Screw the league. Screw the league. It's run by dinosaurs. Forget about competitiveness. We are a rich club. And if the books are in place, we should be walking away with it. That's what it is. If we are run properly as we should, and not even over the top, just basic, we are the richest club in the country. We should be running away with it if we handle our business smartly. So that's what I said so many times. Again, it's a lot of ifs. Stop buying from Italian teams. Stop it. But now you went so far for coal miners, you have no choice. You need to bring in coal miners. But if you had other targets in the beginning of the summer, this team would have probably been fixed by now. What happened to McKennie? Why is he back? Says someone. Well, he came back because he needed the contract because nobody was offering him anywhat close to the money he was getting, and Juve is comfortable. You know, it's chill. I want to live in Torino. You know, pick up a good paycheck rather than earn the same money and, you know, with all due respect, live in a city that's not as beautiful as Torino, you know? So that's why he came back. If Thuram was on Torino or Fiorentina mid-table, they would request 50 mil for him. Well, not 50, but at least 30 plus. At least, even if they had 1 year on his contract, because that was kind of Vlahovic's situation almost, and we overpaid. So I agree. I actually do agree with what you're saying. But yeah, Timothy Weah, he is gonna play tomorrow. He is gonna play probably the first 3 games because I refuse to believe we're gonna sign 2 wingers to start with. That's one. And I refuse to believe these wingers are in even before the Roma game, or maybe in the week from the Roma game. You know, not in the week before the Roma game. When I would say before, I mean next week. You know, it's only 2 weeks of the window. You know, but on Timothy Weah, I said he can improve in all areas. Yeah, that's not what you want to hear, but it's true. Like, he can improve in everything he does. You know, his decision making, 100%. Him taking on players, that's not good at all at times. It's very frustrating at times because he has so much speed and ability, but for some reason, when he's on pace, he can just outpace a player. But when he takes on a player, it's done. But he cannot use his pace. It doesn't look good. You know, it actually looks frustrating. It looks slow. It looks so predictable. You know, his final ball is atrocious at times. So yes, he can improve. He said, I'm not surprised, even though he was very young when I first met him. He had potential then, and now he's fully capable of expressing it. He's at a great age and will definitely be a big asset to the team. You know, when I read between the lines, I think it's clear he's not a starter. You know, and Motta is expecting 2 wingers to come in. I don't believe it, but he definitely does not see Timothy Weah as a starter. Like, I don't care what the media tries to put out there. It just cannot be the case because he never showed in his career that he can take on that mantle. Like, he never showed that. There's no consistency with him. It's all good and it's all bad, you know, consistently. Even when he had good games last season or in preseason, there were very good moments and there were very questionable moments where I don't even think time will heal those. It's just you can do certain things like beating a player when you cannot use your speed. Decision making, you should be improving. That's just purely on remaining calm. Especially the positions he gets in on the edge of the box. He should be doing much better, but for some reason he freezes. He absolutely freezes when he's close to the box. And it's overhitting. It's playing in the wrong players. It's just, oh my god, it's one frustrating players to watch, and that's why I say, like, there's no way you're banking your season hope on him playing a winger for you all year. That's just impossible. You cannot do that, because I don't think that will turn out to be a very, very good move at all. But yeah, okay. And then on Chiesa, because again, when Timothy Weah signed this new deal, or is going to sign a new deal, is back in the team, everybody is like, what about Chiesa? Apparently we never made an offer to Chiesa, and even if we did make an offer to Chiesa, I've said so many times when people were talking about, oh, he's asking about for too much money, and I said, people, remain calm, because actually there's no report that he's asking for any money from Juve, in terms of there's no number out there. So that's why I said so many times, just remain calm, because there's no reports that we're asking 10 million euros from Chiesa, or that he's asking for 8, or 7, or so on. That's why I said calm. It's just a decision that has been made. He said it hasn't changed. We have discussed it internally. It's showing respect I have for the players with full transparency and clarity. This is approach I want to convey to the players. Respect, nothing has changed, And people got all mad when you said that, and that's purely because they like a player, and I get it, but I'd rather have this than acting like you're part of the team, acting like you're a key player, and then say I don't know, out of nowhere, by the way, you need to leave. If you say that from the beginning, I respect that more. So even if I don't agree with all the decisions, if you are just very open and honest with your players, saying I cannot use you anymore, you need to leave, fine, I can respect that, despite being it the right or wrong decision. But again, I prefer that than acting a player like a player is important and then show him the door out of nowhere. I don't like that as well. Do you think the Kalulu deal is off? There was news in the evening about Arsenal wanted to resolve the Kiwior situation. We will go back to him. I have no idea. Nikoshira said 24 hours on Friday, so he kind of lost his credibility right there as well a bit, because it's been 72 hours somewhere almost. So whatever, whatever at this moment in time. But yeah, let's move on to the starting 11. The starting 11. Again, it's not difficult to put out a starting 11. And again, this might not be the starting 11. Maybe Kabala's not going to start. Maybe Gatti will start over Danilo. I don't know what's going to happen. But we don't have many options. Like I said, I'm going to repeat myself. We have nobody on the bench. We have Fagioli on the bench. We have Bangula on the bench. 2 other next-gen players, 2 goalkeepers, and McKennie. That's our bench, And that's why I said that you need to win that game. You need to win that game in the first half. If you don't win that game in the first half, we will have an issue. Because we have nothing on that bench to change that game. We absolutely do not have anything on that bench to change that game. So what you put out there tomorrow, that needs to be ready from minute 1 to actually go out there and get the job done as soon as possible. Because we have no options to change the game whatsoever. So it's going to be interesting. But obviously, Di Gregorio in goal. It's going to be interesting to see how he will cope, in this first game, actual real game. Because I think, obviously, replacing Buffon is big, but I think replacing Chesney is also big. I think people are going too light about it, saying, oh yeah, it will be flawless. We won't even notice that we lost Chesney. I wouldn't really be so sure about that, So hopefully he has a good game. Then obviously Bremer, Danilo is tipped to start with Cambiaso and Cabal. Last preseason game of Cabal, again, it wasn't good. Got caught in the back a lot of times. Actually, the entire back line has that tendency to get caught up in their backs a lot of times. So that's something we need to be careful about. Just not against Como, but in general. I don't think we have a lot of recovery space in that back line, if not none. But yeah, getting caught in the back, that can absolutely be a problem for that back line. Thuram playing in front of that back line. Locatelli, Douglas Luiz. Besides him, then Timothy Weah, Yildiz, and Vlahovic, because that's the team. That's the team we have. That's the team we have. And to be honest, like, that team should be good enough to deal with Como. You know, I'm not gonna make excuses when I talk about the squad is not ready. I'm talking about it for an entire league campaign, Champions League campaign, Coppa Italia, Supercoppa, Club World Cup. You know, we play a lot of games next season. And we need signings. We definitely need signings. You know, that team, you know, and you guys might disagree with it. That team is better than the team we had out there last season, in my opinion, right now. But the squad is not. That midfield is better than last season. You know, it is what it is. Backline is the same. Goalkeeper, you can say it's better. It's not better. Whatever. Timothy Weah, is he better than McKennie on the wing? He should be. You know, Yildiz better than Chiesa. Chiesa last season, I don't think it's that difficult to top. And Vlahovic is still Vlahovic. I think we have more quality in that team right now compared to last season. I think we have more ability to actually play football compared to last season. But it should be much, much better. It still should be much better. That's why you're chasing Colt Miners or the Gonzalez or Conceição, because it still needs to improve. You know, besides having backups, it needs to improve. It definitely needs to improve. But that 11 has more footballing ability in it. I really believe that. I really believe that. Let me see the comments really quickly. And it's an interview full of cliches, in my opinion. I really don't like pre-game presses unless some major news transpired before the interview. I liked them. And the cliches were because the journalists were not asking the questions. If you don't ask tactical questions, then that's the answers you're going to get. So I don't blame Motta, because if you listen to his Bologna's presser, it was extremely insightful, really insightful. And that was purely because the questions were good. They were good questions. Now it's about, is Vlahovic ready? You know, because last season he wasn't this and this, you know. What about Chiesa, you know? And we know what the hell is happening with Chiesa. He told the world what's happening with Chiesa. So I'm not sure why you're asking the question about Chiesa again. You know, waste of questions, and that's the pressure you then get as a result, you know. We upgraded the midfield, but I still don't think our team is good enough. How is it this... Wait, what? Midfield is the core of any team. It's good. We start with it. I'm really worried about Dusan and the defense. We're short there. Let's hope Motta can get the best out of the players at his disposal. Yeah, it's slim. You know, Vlahovic, yeah, Milik is a backup. He's injured. I get it. But let's say Vlahovic gets injured, you know, or he has a niggle and he needs to be subbed out. In an ideal world, you're like, okay, we're going to play with a false 9. Fine, you can put Yildiz there, but then you need to bring in Mbangula, basically. Or you need to bring in McKennie, you know, or you need to ask Timothy Weah to play false 9, and you need to bring in McKennie. That's not the way to go. You know, if something happens with Vlahovic, you bring in Milik. And even if you don't want to bring in Milik, and you say, you know, Yildiz, you play false 9, you have Nico Gonzalez or Conceição, like actual wingers, rather than dropping in McKennie. You know, so that is definitely not ideal. I 1000% agree with that. But we knew that. Like, we definitely 100% knew that. That's why we do... How many videos have we did over the summer talking about, you know, the team is not ready? But that's on... That's on Giuntoli. And people hit the like button because we only have 31 likes, which is not good enough. So smash the like button. Let's get to at least 50 likes before we end the stream. But that's it, you know. And tomorrow, yeah, false 9, because I don't think he's a number 9. But according to Motta, he can play across the line up front. So he's definitely not a striker. So false 9 it is, because he's going to be used in every single position up top, 100%. You know, if you sign actual two wingers, then Weah is gonna be like a joker card. He's gonna be used for every single position up front. When we have an issue, it's gonna be Timothy Weah coming in. You know, so yeah, he was a striker for PSG and Juve, but he's not a good striker. He's not a good striker. That's where Thiago Motta knows him from, but Timothy Weah is not a good striker. I'm sorry, with his decision making, you cannot be a good striker. It's impossible to be a good striker. Like, we are killing Vlahovic for his decision making, and he's actually a striker. Yeah, Timothy Weah's decision making is poor. It's really poor, you know. But yeah, talking about what was I talking about? Transfers. Updates. There are no real updates right now. Or the updates are not positive updates. You know, you can have 1,000 journalists saying quote miners soon emoji or you know, a timer emoji. Like, that's not serious. Those are not updates. You know, the only update right now is that Rocco Commisso doesn't want to sell Nico Gonzalez to Juve. And like I said, the moment Lookman said to Atalanta, screw this, I want to go to PSG, do not play me, I tweeted out the Nico Gonzalez thing will be on, you know, on hold. And 2-3 hours later, Nico Schira tweets out that yeah, Rocco Commisso is hesitating to sell immediately, and Atalanta are back in because Lookman is out. Like, that news is easy tapping news. And if Rocco Commisso has a choice between Juve and Atalanta, he will choose Atalanta. This goes back to not getting the deal done, not pushing Fiorentina to screw this. We want Nico Gonzalez. This is the agreement. Give us Nico Gonzalez. We haven't done that. And now you're in a situation where Atalanta can come in. Now, apparently we offer Nico Gonzalez 3.7 million. So it's up to Nico Gonzalez again to tell Fiorentina, I'm sorry. You know, I will get probably 1.7 million more than I will get at Atalanta. And on top of that, yeah, Atalanta will start, but probably at Juve I will start as well, or a lot of games. So, and it's a bigger team. So we'll come down to that again. And for quote miners, again, easy tapping news. The moment Lookman said, the news came out, you know, from Sky that Atalanta are not going to sell quote miners and Lookman. But that goes back to pushing Atalanta to sell quote miners, and to the fact that quote miners, if they tell quote miners you cannot leave because we're going to sell Lookman out of the blue, after we promise you can have your move, and I told you guys I'm not going to come to training because I want that move, I think quote miners will commit a crime at that moment in time. You know, and again, on top of that, how I don't even know how that's gonna work. And maybe I'm talking about, you know, how I would react to it. Let's say, again, I said it before, Bremer's like, I want to leave. I'm not showing up in training, blah blah blah. And at the end of the day, we do not sell him. And then match day 3, Bremer, you know, strolls on the pitch to play Roma. He will get booed by the fans. There's no way. And I'm saying Atalanta, Juve. Let's say he wanted to go to not Inter, because that would be more extreme. Napoli, you know, for example, he will get booed. Bremer, you cannot bring that player back in the squad, because the player, like, the fans will boo him from minute 1 to minute 90, from game 1 to game match day 39. They will boo that player, you know. So I don't even see how Gasperini or Atalanta are gonna bring quote miners back into that team. That's crazy work to me. That really would be crazy work, because I don't see how that's gonna work. You know, how are you gonna convince the fans that, you know, forget that quote miner said I'm not showing up in training, sell me to Juve, to back him because he's back and he's a key player? Like, that's crazy work. I do understand Gasperini, because he said it 2 weeks ago. I thought, or a week and a half ago, he talked about the situation, and I said at the times, I think he's talking about Atalanta and not about Juve or quote miners. And well, the news comes out, he actually was talk about Atalanta, because his key players are not there and they're not being replaced, and one of them is asking to be sold, you know, 2 weeks before the window shuts down, you know, and then you have a lot of injuries as well. So I can see his frustration, but that's on Atalanta. If you promise quote miners to leave, then you need to let him leave. You're holding this up, you know, for no good reason at all. So those are the updates. No positive updates, to be honest, if I'm being completely honest. And we almost hit 50 likes. So if 15 of you hit the like button, then we definitely will reach 50 likes. But yeah, let me see a few comments. Are we a better team than Atalanta? I don't think so right now. I think we are. They lost 2-0 to Real Madrid, but they actually play quite well. Yeah, up to the last 35 minutes, they got absolutely smoked at that moment in time. Let me see. Okay, no new comment, I guess. No. Okay, yeah, the window, that will be tomorrow. Like, I'm not even gonna put out a daily video tomorrow. I will do my match reaction because tomorrow should be about the game. I know the situation we're in right now, but there are no updates this weekend, which is kind of sad and worrying. Will there be updates tomorrow? Probably, but I'm expecting negative updates where it's like Atalanta match, Juve's offer for Gonzalez, and Rocco Commisso wants to sell to Atalanta. That type of news I expect tomorrow. Not Nico Gonzalez is on his way, or Koopman is on his way, or Kalulu said yes, or Porto are very open to Conceição's offer. On Conceição, same thing, same offer. Saudi clubs in the race for him, but he wants to stay in Europe. He wants to join Juve. As at this moment in time, things can change, but that's the feeling right now. But yeah, tomorrow should be about the game. You know, it shouldn't really be about transfer windows, but in our situation, it will be about the transfer window. It definitely will be about the transfer window. So it's gonna be really, really interesting tomorrow. Is tomorrow gonna be a call-in after the game? Nah. Sorry, there will be a call-in show next week or the week that comes, but not tomorrow because I cannot do a live tomorrow. I'll do my match reaction and then I do all the other stuff that I need to do, and then I need to go to bed because I need to wake up for work. But there will be a call-in show next week, 100%. Probably Wednesday, Friday, one of those days. I have a positive feeling about tomorrow. Less with the squad. They will announce another new deal to one of the players. Law. They will do anything to finalize deals. Why? We are a question mark because Motta is a question mark because the players are a question mark. Douglas Luiz, Turan, will Yildiz take the step? I can't say we are better. That lineup is better. It has more qualities. You know, if it will click, that's a different question. But that lineup has more quality, has more football ability. That is besides the point if I need to see it. Individually, it has more quality. It has a bigger ability to actually play a decent amount of good football. And on top of that, you have a different coach who wants to play a decent amount of good football throughout 90 minutes. Again, it can look absolutely worse than last season. That time will tell. But individually, it is. It really is, you know. And I've seen it in preseason as well. Not the results, just small things where I'm like, yeah. Like even players that I don't rate were doing okay. So this has got to be the worst offseason I can remember in years since 2006. Ooh, I wouldn't go there. I thought the Locatelli offseason was horrible as well. Like 2 months for one deal, and then we end up overpaying as well. So I thought that deal was absolutely rubbish. I remember us signing Traoré and those type of players. That was absolutely rubbish as well. But it's definitely up there as one of the most frustrating players, transfer windows, and confusing. It's very confusing. It's a very strange situation. Atalanta ideally does not want to help out Juve. They want to accept the Cope deal on that line thing basically. But with injuries and potential Lookman out, yeah, it's not looking fantastic right now. It really isn't. We might be able to keep the ball better, but goals, I don't know. Yeah, but that was the issue last season as well. You know, that was so it did improve. It did improve then. Goals are the issue because we have no wingers, or we have Yildiz and Timothy Real right now. We have no other options. That is probably the issue. Bologna with 74 possession. Yeah, I mean Italiano's a good coach. That's why I prefer to have Italiano over Motta. I'm okay with Motta. I like him, but my first choice was Italiano, because I think he's a good coach. Will Atalanta get both O'Reilly and Samardzic? I don't think so. They need to replace Lookman by the looks of it, so I'm assuming they're gonna go for that first, which is very worrying for Colt Miners and Juve right now. If the window shuts down, closes, and we do not end up signing Colt Miners, it's looking peak for Giuntoli, because you chased them all summer. You kept the entire market funds for that player, basically the cash part, and you failed to sign him. That's horrendous. Like on so many levels. After saying, do not buy Calafiori, let's go for Colt Miners. If you end up not getting Colt Miners, I cannot start to describe how bad that actually really is. I cannot even start. So let's see. Let's see what will happen. How is Atalanta spending like no tomorrow without selling? Proper run club. Very well run club. That's the honest truth. They are very well run. They sell players for huge profit. Their books probably look clean as hell. That's just the reality. That's why they are sitting there and like, we don't need to sell Cope. They can do that. They sell players, by the way. They do sell players. But like they signed Højlund for like, was it 75 million or 72? Absolutely scam menu there. But that's what they do, and they sign players on fair prices as well, and they're just well run. Won the Europa League, do well. Like financially, they're very healthy. They're very healthy. So I miss being the optimistic fans and starts for Juve every season. I will go into you tried last season. You tried when I tried to tell you stop it, because it was never gonna happen. But on paper, this is worse quality than last season. If you factor in we're starting the season with Pogba and Chiesa, I disagree. Were we starting with Pogba? No, against Udinese we didn't start with Pogba. And Chiesa had a poor season. I'm going off what I saw. 38 games into this. Did I say 39? A couple of minutes ago. 38 games last season. I see more quality on that pitch right now tomorrow than what I saw 38 games. And again, on paper, if you gave me the papers last season without knowing how we would play, and on paper the team this season, I will say this team has more quality. That midfield has more quality. But if you want to do what I've seen last season, when Yildiz was playing well and Chiesa came back into the team, I was like, this is not fair. Yildiz is playing well, he should be playing. And if Chiesa was in the team, I would still say Chiesa should be benched, because Yildiz is showing more promise, showing better things right now. So I disagree with that. I think the team has more quality at this moment in time. The squad not, but individually, that starting 11 has more quality than last season. Factoring in, we have a different coach as well. But final question before I wrap this one up, prediction. So put your prediction. Yeah, Alex, we need to see it. That's what I said. We need to see it, but on paper and what I've seen last season, it has more quality. It can turn out to be absolutely rubbish. We will see tomorrow. But right now, I think there's more quality. But put your predictions in the chat. 2-0, 3-1, 3-1, 3-1 win. 2-0. That's I think that's a 3-0. 3-0, and the Juve fans will go for the Scudetto. Oh my god. Well, when Inter started losing yesterday, I was like, cool, this is our season. 0-0, 1-1, 3-0, 1-0, 2-1, 1-1, 2-1. Where brace. Oh my god, if that happens, I hope it happens. Vlahovic brace. Okay, I'm gonna go with. I'm going to go 2-1. I think we will concede a goal. I think we'll win. I do think we will concede a goal. I don't think we will be. I hope we are stable as a team and we don't look out of place and we play like a unit and don't concede a lot of shots, because right now I think that should be our strength, not conceding goals and nicking the goals, because we don't have enough firepower up top, coming from the bench and even in the 11 maybe with Timothy Weah. But right now, that's, I think, the game plan. Just keep it compact, and actually use the chances you will get, because we all get chances tomorrow. I know preseason we didn't really create open, clear-cut chances, but I think tomorrow they will come. But you need to use them, and you need to stay compact, because you don't have a squad to make changes in that second half or even the first half. We don't have that squad right now. So 2-1 is my prediction. And yeah, man, that's what I need. Easy. Just 3 points to kickstart the season, especially with the window stuff going about, just pure stress. I want to go at least with a win into a very key week for the transfers, and then build up to Verona and probably the last week of the transfer window, where we still need to sign 3 or 4 players. I need to sell 10 of them, But tomorrow I want to win, so at least one evening I don't need to do a transfer live video and just talk about the game, and we actually won that game. That's what I need. All the big teams drop points, meaning we're losing for sure. Always optimistic and in. Prediction on the market: how many players we will sign before the window closes? At this moment in time, I think 3. We're gonna have possession probably, unless Fabregas is in position or something with the players he has. Yeah, we should be having the ball, and we should be dealing with it. Should be translating that into chances. That's it. But yeah, people, I'm gonna wrap this one up. If you haven't liked the video, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I will be back tomorrow for a match reaction, for sure. No daily transfer news video tomorrow, because it's match day. I don't want to do that unless there's actually breaking massive news, then yeah, obviously. But other than that, I just want to talk about the game. I just want to win, and just for 90 minutes not focus on transfers. But that will probably come up if we do not win that game, for obvious reasons. But yeah, that's it for me, people. Thanks for joining. Hopefully you can enjoy your Sunday as well, for a lot of people. And then we will speak again tomorrow post game. Ciao.